Hey guys, what's going on? It's Karl here, back with my second video of the HTC ONE M9. My first video, I took a look at 5 reasons why you should grab the M9. I'll leave a little link up top as well as down below in the description box. This second video will be 5 reasons why you should not grab the M9, as every review should have 2 sides. Just keep in mind though that these aren't definitive reasons, and I'm not saying that the M9 is the worst phone in the world. Never to buy it, it sucks so much. Just keep these things in mind before you buy it, and to kick things off, we will start with number 1, evolution. At first glance, the M9 looks extremely similar to the M8, which isn't a bad thing, but a lot of people are getting upset at HTC for only making incremental changes to their flagship. Front facing, it looks almost identical to the M8, and at the back is where you'll see the key difference, the camera, which we'll get to later on. In my opinion, the M9 just looks like an M8 Plus, and you won't really be able to tell the difference. On the side, we do have a bit of a button displacement. The on and off / sleep button is now found on the side, and it makes things a bit easier, but it doesn't help the fact that Samsung has released the GS6, which is a complete overhaul, and I think people might be persuaded to join the Samsung side of things. Number 2, the camera. The M9 has dropped the dual camera setup or the depth camera setup found on the M8, and it no longer has the ultra pixel sensor. It is now a 20 megapixel rear facing camera, and on the front it actually still has the ultra pixels, and that is to help in low light. Not bad for selfies, but getting back to the rear facing camera, this is one of the biggest letdowns for a flagship smartphone in 2015. On the upside, it does record in 4K video now. Here's a quick sample clip, but once again, not too impressed. As for the actual pictures, I found them to be very washed out, and when I was using, say, my iPhone or the Galaxy S6, I had much better results. Hopefully this can be fixed in a firmware update, but once again, the camera, such a big letdown. Number 3, battery life, and for me this has to be the biggest deal breaker. Only has a 2840 milliamp hour battery, and that means it doesn't last all day. If you're a heavy user such as myself, or even if you play games, watch videos, you'll notice that the battery life on the M9 drains incredibly fast. For example, for this review, I had to charge it twice, and I won't deny that I did put the phone under heavy usage, but if it doesn't last all day, then what's the point of having a nice phone if it doesn't even stay on? This really needs to be fixed for all phones in general, but you have to remember that this is only a 5-inch screen, smaller form factor. You can fit it in your hands, but it does sacrifice battery life. It does have an extreme power savings mode that you can use the essentials, but battery life, come on HTC. Number 4, the display. And in a world where specs do matter, especially in the Android world, and I see so many heated debates in the comments, this phone has best specs, this phone doesn't. Unfortunately, the HTC ONE M9 does fall short on its display. It's only 1920 by 1080 with a pixel density of 441. Other phones from last year even had Quad HD displays like the LG G3, and of course the Samsung, its main competitor, the S6 has a Quad HD display now also. And when you compare the M9's display to the GS6, I did prefer Samsung's flagship. It seemed more vibrant, the colors didn't seem as washed out. Have to remember it was an AMOLED display though, but even things like text didn't seem as crisp on the M9. And number 5, I've combined 2 things here. They aren't as big of a deal as the other ones, but I've seen a lot of comments on forums, YouTube videos, as well as discussions. First off, being the HTC ONE M9 is not waterproof. And I know none of the other ones, the M8 or the M7, are waterproof. Even the new GS6 isn't waterproof. But for some people, this does make a difference. I believe Sony is still the only flagship that does have a waterproof device. If you're always around water, scared of dropping your phone in, say, the toilet, into a pool, into any body of water, the M9 is not waterproof, so keep it away from a water source. And the second minor issue, I was a bit skeptical when I read on this first, but it is true. The M9 does get nice and toasty and hot, especially after you've used it for a while. Say you're playing a lot of games, you're watching video, it does get noticeably hotter in your hand, and sometimes to the point where it's uncomfortable to hold. I know this might not be a deal breaker, but just keep this somewhere floating around in the back of your mind. So those are my 5 picks of why you should not grab the HTC ONE M9. I guess the last one was a bit of a combo. I was running out of ideas. If you guys own the M9 and there are some things that you don't like about it, let me know down below in the comments. I'm now off to film more footage of the Apple Watch. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that review. And if you guys found this video useful, be sure to smash that like button, and I will catch the rest of you in my next episode. Peace.